Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Library, where Star Wars is in print, and after a long break, we are back. I thank you for being patient with me. The missus and I had our second baby, and so he's doing great, everyone's doing good. But now that we're back into our regularly scheduled programming, we can get back into this. So we are in 1995, and we're finally at book one of the Corellian Trilogy. And this one is called Star Wars Ambush at Corellia. And it's by Roger McBride Allen. It's book, like I said, book one in the Corellian trilogy. So the story of this is basically Han Solo and his family are going to Corellia, which is about to erupt into civil war. That seems to be a thing that happens a couple times in the expanded universe. We see that in Legacy of the Force. But anyways, well, between Corellia, I guess, and in the Alliance, but I'm getting way ahead of myself there. But anyways, so it's about to erupt into civil war. One of the things that I noticed when going back through this is the Solo kids are kind of starting to come into their own here. Like they're starting to become more of their own characters, not just just the kids that are over there. They're starting to be a little bit more like, oh, Jason is this, Jaina is this, and Anakin is this. So it kind of begins their journey up to where they're going to contribute to the lore later on down the road. So that's kind of cool to see. It sets up Corellia kind of wanting to break away from the New Republic, and ultimately, like I was kind of hinting at earlier, setting up their ultimate kind of distaste with the Alliance later on down the road. It's kind of cool that this does that all the way in 1995. So it also introduces Han's cousin Thraken Solo, who will become a reoccurring villain throughout the expanded universe. Again, primarily the post-Jedi era at this point going forward. So while the Solos are dealing with this insurrection, Luke Skywalker and Lando Calrissian go on a mission. Basically, Luke goes with Lando to join him in a mission to find a wife. Uh, which is just it's as good as it sounds, man. It is awesome because Lando's awesome, and Luke going with him. It's a fun story. So basically, for me, this does set up a good story arc. I do really like the Corellian trilogy. It's a good read. To me, though, the first book is a little weak. It's to me, the series gets better as it goes on. Like I said, while I like it, I do think it's the weakest of the three books. But it's not bad. It's just, in comparison to the others, it's definitely the weakest. So, is this an essential read? I would say yes. Is it essential if you're going to read the trilogy? Obviously. Is it essential for the overall expanded universe? Yeah, because again, it introduces several main characters. It sets up a lot of things that we'll see later on down the line. This is a very key book, and even though I feel like I kind of downplayed it a little bit in this review, it's a it's a well done book. It's an enjoyable read, and again, it does set up a lot of things that'll come on later down the road in the EU. So while I do think it's the weakest of the series, of the Corellian trilogy, I do think it's worth the read, and I do think it's worth your time if you're going to be diving into the Star Wars Legends continuity. Folks, that is all the time I have for today, and I will see you next time with another episode of the Star Wars Library.